What's up, A to Z Sports here live on a Thursday, rolling through this week, and just a couple days left before Titans rookie minicamp happens on Saturday at a St. Thomas Sports Park, and Cam Ward on the field with his other rookies for the first time, throwing to some new wide receivers, and we'll talk about some other potential new wide receivers for the Tennessee Titans as Gabe Davis, cut during yesterday's show from the Jags because of his contract, was definitely a lot higher than his production was on the field. So Gabe Davis is available, and the Titans' interest level in Gabe Davis could tip their hand about their wide receiver direction for Cam Ward now and later. Now, interest level in Gabe Davis could be either direction, right? It could be zero or it could be super interested. So
that's right.
We don't know what the Titans' interest level is. So we're going to have a discussion about really a three-pronged situation for the Titans wide receiver room. Titans Kyle already coming in hot, right? Easton about to have another bad take day. Is that going to be the case?
Incorrect.
We're going to find out.
Incorrect.
We're going to find out if Easton's going to have a bad take day or not. But it's going to be a good show, and then we'll talk a little James Gladstone, a little extra Jags on the show today before. Man, I need a second opportunity on trivia this week. Bad. Ryan and I failed. It flopped. It was a tough grid.
I heard bad things.
It was a very tough grid. Very tough grid. But hopefully, Easton and I do better than 9 minutes in missing out on our double dip on our celebrity dub. So, gonna have a good show today. Let's get it going. Jeff also said, "What the Titans could be interested in a wide receiver under 30 years old." That's also funny. But we're going to have a good show here. Welcome in, Easton. Let's get this thing going.
Yeah, what's going on? Good morning, Austin. Good morning to everybody in the chat. Got a very good show for you guys today. If you tuned in and you saw that it was going to be Gabe Davis talk and you're rolling your eyes, don't touch that dial. I promise this is a much broader conversation about what the Titans wide receiver room needs to be than purely a should they go sign Gabe Davis conversation. We're going to talk about that. We're going to start with the Gabe Davis of it all. We are. But this is a topic that, frankly, Austin said, let's talk about this yesterday. He said, tomorrow we're going to talk about this. And I said, I don't know.
I only said that after I saw your tweet about it.
It's true.
I
know.
You started it.
I did start it. And you said, let's lead with it. And I said, that kind of feels like an email. Kind of feels like a tweet, not a show topic. And then I wrote an article about it. And as I wrote the article, I realized there's a lot more here about it's an indictment on the Titans. It's a referendum, I should say, on the Titans wide receiver room more than it is a Gabe Davis topic. So we're really going to be talking about the Titans receiver room, what it needs to be this year, what it could be this year, and what we think the Titans want it to be this year. So a lot to unpack there, It's going to be a good one, I promise. So lock in, like the show, hit that like button on Facebook, on YouTube, and then jump in the comments with Coach Wills and Raz and Vanessa, Ronald, Justin, NM Titan, Big Ten Jeff. Good morning to all of you. Chris Jump, some familiar faces in there. Want to see you guys in there this morning. Want to hear your thoughts on our discussion topics, but only if you like the show first. It's the easiest way for you to be a friend of the program this morning.
Yep, let's do it officially on a Thursday. Welcome to the A to Z Sports here, live on a Thursday. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Easton Freeze, our Titans reporter for A2ZSports.com. We're Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. You can also hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Leave us a 5-star Google review. Easton, I saved this email because I got an email from a 5-star Google review from Tommy Poole as a Titans fan and new sub to the A to Z Sports fan. Got to say, I really like how the show goes. So shout out Tommy for that 5-star Google review that came in. We got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us and they help out all of you. Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your new car buying process. See them in Lebanon or online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care, and Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized insurance solutions for all of your insurance needs. They're local and also online at bartondrury.com. So, Easton, I thought Ryan and I had a really good conversation yesterday about the Titans and what we talked through with Cam Ward and what we have, to kind of go through how the Titans could potentially be somebody like the Washington Commanders Now, some people on the internet took it like, oh my God, we think the Titans are going to make the AFC Championship game. No, come on. It's the
No,
nature of the
they're going to win
conversation.
the Super Bowl.
Yes,
Yeah.
just
They're
like
gonna go
we are
further.
not, just like a player comp of Cam Ward to Patrick Mahomes doesn't mean Cam Ward is going to be Patrick Mahomes. That's what that conversation represents. So how could the Titans flip the script on the NFL? Because it happens that way just about every year. A team goes from worst to wild card playoff team right there. And, during the show, Gabe Davis gets cut by the Jaguars. He was due 12 point something million dollars this upcoming season.
12 and a half, I think.
Did not yet. 12 and a half, 11 and a half, something like that. A lot of money.
25 million left on his contract, 11 in guarantees this year.
Yeah, not a good contract for a guy who is still very young. Gabe Davis just turned 26 years old, and it feels like he's been around for a lot longer than that. So, but a young player who signed a nice contract with Jacksonville last year, did not do that much at all as we look at his stats over his 5-year career. Has never had a 1,000-yard season, but we know what he was for the Buffalo Bills for the first 4 years of his career. He was a big play guy. I mean, look at the yards per catch. 17, 15, almost 16, 17, 16, almost 17. And so really a big play guy scoring touchdowns. We know he was the third option-ish in that offense for Josh Allen. And so the idea was for him to get a bigger role with the Jags. Didn't happen. Played in 10 games, had an injury, 20 catches, 42 targets, 239 yards, just 2 touchdowns. So a zero burger for Gabe Davis with his New Jersey number in Jacksonville as well. But I do think it's interesting because Gabe Davis is a young receiver. He has ability. We've seen him make big plays in the playoffs for Buffalo too. So with the Titans, who waited until day 3 to get a pass catching option for Cam Ward, I would like you to start, Easton, with how you tweeted yesterday.
Okay.
And then so I want to start there, and then we will have this conversation develop and evolve because we're going to start with Gabe Davis, and then we're going to talk about the Titans wide receiver room as a whole and the big picture direction of said room. But start where you took to Twitter yesterday about Gabe Davis and the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I mean, all I said was that I needed somebody to give me a good reason why the Titans shouldn't at least bark up the Gabe Davis tree. Obviously, I don't think that they should be signing him or anybody to a multi-year contract or to a double-digit $1 million, 8-figure contract by any means. But I'm not sure quite what his market's going to be. He's going to be getting paid significantly. I mean, he's going to be getting paid 8 figures this year by the Jaguars, even though he's not working there anymore. So what is he going to, what's his market going to demand on top of that? I don't know. If it could be for a reasonable 1-year deal, like in my article that I wrote, I said like 1 year, $5 million. I would entertain that. And I think that people are being way too dismissive of what Davis could bring to the table for his next team. I don't think he's a no-brainer fit for the Titans by any means. And we're going to talk about that. But I think that, for starters, this is a classic case of one crappy season on one crappy Jaguars team causing folks to swing way too far in the opposite direction on a player. I'm old enough to remember what Buffalo Bills wide receiver Gabe Davis was in the public eye 1 year ago, which was a very useful player. And we showed his stats on the screen just a minute ago. Was he ever going to be worth that outrageous contract that Trent Baalke so masterfully handed out to him? No. But there's a reason why he had the free agent market that he did, that ultimately the Jaguars blew out of the water and ruined.
And the Titans,
because he's a good player.
Like in Easton, you weren't with A-to-Z at the point, but like 2 Marches ago during the Gabe Davis free agency, I mean, he was an option for the Titans. Was he
last March? Yeah,
2 Marches ago.
Oh, we just finished March. Okay, well, yeah.
So yes, 2 Marches ago.
That makes it sound longer ago than it was.
Right.
Year.
Yeah, just like 14 months ago, Gabe Davis was like a legitimate option for the Titans before they went all banks in on Calvin Ridley.
Right.
And look, Calvin Ridley was twice as much as Gabe Davis was. So for a free agent contract. So I think it's not crazy. So you said, don't be so dismissive to just try to bark up the Gabe Davis tree. They kick the tires on him, right? And you said 1 year for $5 million. He ain't getting that. He ain't getting $5 million this year.
Maybe not.
I don't necessarily see a team paying a guy who just got cut, who is getting paid decent guaranteed money by the team that fired him, getting $5 million on a 1-year deal.
Well,
So I think this is as affordable as Gabe Davis is ever going to be in his career.
Probably. And yeah, I mean, he had 2,700 yards and 27 touchdowns in 4 years in Buffalo. That I had people in my comments yesterday saying like, "What, why would you go?" I mean, I had people saying he's no better than NWI, no better than Van Jefferson, and we're going to talk more about Van Jefferson later. You cannot like Gabe Davis. That's fine. That's perfectly reasonable. You've lost your freaking mind if you think that he is a comparable player on the same tier or even close to the same tier as an NWI or a Van Jefferson. He is comfortably the best of those three players. And we can kind of put NWI to the side because he's no longer with the team. With Van Jefferson, I mean, I had a lot of people saying, you already have Van Jefferson on the team. You're already paying him. He can do what Gabe Davis would do. Sorry. No, he can't. I mean, I went back and I watched what Van Jefferson did with the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. I'm not a Van Jefferson hater. Like, I'm rooting for the guy. But nothing he did says even low-end starting caliber receiver play. Gabe Davis offers mid to low-end starting caliber receiver play. They are not super similar players. So
okay.
Yeah.
So, I like a YouTube poll, right? A YouTube poll to get data. So let's do it. Should the Titans consider signing recently cut Gabe Davis? Now, again, I'm not saying should the Titans sign Gabe Davis, but should they kick the tires on Gabe Davis? That's the conversation we're going to have. So should the Titans consider signing recently cut wide receiver Gabe Davis? That is where we're going to go with this question today. But I want to tell you guys about Holiday World and Splash and Safari. Guess whose opening day is just 2 days away?
Let's go.
Yes. And May 10th, Saturday, Holiday World and Splash and Safari is open for the season. And a summer your kids will never forget. Just 2.5 hours north of Nashville in Santa Claus, Indiana. You can make it holiday year-round, especially with a weekend getaway trip for you and the entire family. They've got something for the entire family. They got tons of high-end roller coasters, wooden coasters, great coasters for you, the adrenaline freak, or they have the coasters for your kids. They actually even have coasters for grandma, grandpa that want to not mess up their equilibrium and still have fun with the kids. You can do that at Holiday World and Splash Safari. Splash Safari, great water park as well. And you can do that by saving an extra $5 off your tickets if you go to holidayworld.com and buy your tickets with promo code ATOZ. It's an extra $5 off Holiday World tickets right there. Holiday World and Splash Safari, just a 2.5 hour drive north of downtown Nashville and Santa Claus, Indiana. Holidayworld.com is where to go.
Yeah, when are we doing the live show from Holiday World? That's Holiday World marketing department. Hit me up. We'll figure it out. I'll make it happen.
How about this? How about look what I got in the mail? I got little tickets in the mail. Maybe a little giveaway.
See, we're headed in the right direction here with Holiday World. I like it.
Yep. Exactly.
We got a lot more to say here about the Titans wide receiver room, but you got to like the show. You got to leave a 5-star Google review for us this morning. Easiest way, freest way for you to be a friend of the show. Help us out. Leave a 5-star Google review today.
So the question is not, should the Titans sign Gabe Davis? Should they consider signing recently cut wide receiver Gabe Davis? I'll put up his stats on the screen before I send Easton to the chat. 4 years in Buffalo, solid, right? Pretty good. Big plays, touchdowns, as a secondary option for Josh Allen. And that Bills offense had a big monster playoffs a couple of years ago during that run that he had with Buffalo. Then last year, injury-riddled season, only 10 games, just 2 catches a game, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns, and cut with his contract owing him a lot of money, 11 guaranteed, 12.5 total. So cut by the Jags yesterday. Should the Titans consider signing recently cut wide receiver Gabe Davis? What are you seeing from the chat, Easton?
Let's see. I am seeing no. Yes, because he's better than Burks. Chris Jump says, heck no. No. Yes. Chris, in all caps, very passionate about it. I'd do it. It hurt. I'd do it. Sure. Big no from Corey. Maybe if he's cheap from Denise. Heck no. No thanks. Yes, that's how bad the Titans receiver room is. Jay says implied no, because this is the year to test young receivers. We'll talk about that more in just a second. That's definitely an element of that. Brandon, if they do, Van Jefferson needs to be released to allow depth for the youth. I don't really know how you phrase this, but for the youth. So mostly
Anthony says no. Why are we even talking about this?
Well, if you've been listening, Anthony, you know why we're talking about it.
People are so like Gabe Davis isn't that bad. Like he's not garbage.
Austin, here's the other element to this. Remember what happened with DeAndre Hopkins last August? Remember when he missed a lot of training camp and was a non-factor for the first month of the season as they were ramping him back up?
Oh yeah. We remember when he had like a wrap on his leg and we're like, what the heck's that on D-Hop's leg? And then we didn't see him for a month because he was in Los Angeles training his torn MCL. Yes, right. That storyline in August.
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think that in the aftermath of adding the rookie, the 3-pack of rookie receivers, the 2 draft picks in Restrepo, and adding Lockett, those 4 additions in the past couple of weeks have really quieted people's concerns on the it was a 5-alarm fire in the receiver room, and now those 4 bodies kind of make people at ease with it. At least okay, this is serviceable, this is fine, this is okay. But I think I challenge all of you listening to think for like 5 seconds. What happens if, God forbid, there's a Calvin Ridley injury, especially early in the year, to this receiver room? Think about that for any amount of time, and you will very quickly realize that Calvin goes down for any amount of time, especially early, and you're right back in very scary territory with this group in terms of guys that A, have experience, B, are not old and decrepit, and C, are capable of being reliably consistent targets for Cam Ward. It gets really uncertain in a hurry. And so, again, God forbid that this happens, and I hope Calvin can play all year and is awesome. But he's not a young receiver anymore, folks. He turns 31 this year, right? And I just think that this 31-year-old receiver, who is clearly the best receiver on this Titans team right now, is shouldering an undue amount of the burden of this room being okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes all sense. So, Easton, I was listening to a national podcast yesterday who was going through the Titans roster. They were grading aspects of the Titans roster. Okay, I wanted to see what's the national idea, the national thought of the Titans roster.
Right.
Like so many times they were going through this position group, each position group, wide receivers, O-line, D-line, secondary, and a common theme happened. Man, they just can't afford one injury. One injury at X position group really throws them off. One injury at wide receiver to Calvin Ridley, the wrong injury, really makes it a problem.
Right.
An injury in the O-line, and even the idea of, Cushenberry, we have no idea. He tore his Achilles in week 9. The O-line looks good. Starting 5 looks solid on paper. One injury, you're like, ooh. And then you look at the D-line, the corners. One injury to a corner, and you're like, okay, now what? And so, the wide receivers are just like that. One injury to the wrong person, and you're like, dang, this is a brutal spot because you have such little experience and track record there.
Well, I mean, Major Keys lays it out right here on the screen. We have Lockett, 3 rookies, Bryce Oliver, and Treylon. Okay, so let's break that down. You have Lockett, a guy that was just cut by his long-time team, coming off of a career low production season, is also a very old receiver in his 30s. So, reliable, an important pillar of this offense for Cam Ward, and a guy that stays on the field. But he's not somebody that can go out there by himself and lead the receiving core. He just doesn't have that juice anymore. 3 rookies. And listen, everybody knows I feel like I'm driving the bus on the Alec Ayermaner hype train of this guy can immediately be really good and can end up being awesome. I am as high on him as anybody. The reality is, we've talked about on this show before, roughly 1 in 10 day 3 receivers go on to have even 500 yards in their rookie season. it can take time for these guys. One, they can just be bad in general. And two, even when they do turn out being good, it can take some time for them to get up to speed.
Or
I
their
do not think that,
situation is not opportunistic to have volume in the rookie year, right?
right. But even then, even in the best situations, they're day 3 receivers. Like there's a reason they're day 3 receivers.
Right.
They don't often hit. And they especially don't often hit early. Like it's very rare that a Puka Nacua comes out of nowhere. It's like, wow, this guy's a true 1 or 2 in an offense. And I think Ellick can be that eventually, but I'm not banking on that in September and October. Nobody should.
No,
then you have Bryce Oliver, who again, I'm about as high on him as you'll find in anybody, but I'm high on him in the sense that he can become like, I think that he can be a slightly better version of NWI, which is a fringe starter, like a 3, right? And that's, again, can be eventually. When does that happen? I don't know.
It didn't happen for NWI until like year 3.5.
Right. I'm not banking on him being a contributor for this offense this year.
Right.
Nobody.
I think Bryce is a better
hoping he can
receiver.
be.
I think Bryce is a better receiver at going into year 2 of his undrafted career than NWI was going into year 2 as of his undrafted career.
Right. And then Traylon Burks, can we stop?
Yeah.
Can we stop? He's not. He's on the team right now. He is not functioning on the team. He's hurt. He's probably never playing another snap for the Titans.
He's on the PUP list. He's gonna start on the PUP list.
I don't think he's ever playing another snap on a Sunday for the Tennessee Titans. Sorry, I don't. So to recap, we have a 30-year-old guy that can't carry a room. We have 4 players in the middle here on this list who I think it is fair to hope can contribute, but it is deeply unfair to expect to contribute. And then a guy that's a dead man walking in terms of their roster status. So that's not good, folks. And that's why adding mind you, Van Jefferson's not on this list. And I don't know if Major Keys, that's just like him, a slip of the mind that he didn't include him or not. But if it was intentional, good on you, frankly, because he's another guy that I don't think you can lean on to be anything for you. He is a 4 or a 5 at best. He's not somebody you want playing meaningful snaps on Sundays. Unless this is his breakout year and he proves me wrong and Van Gogh proved me wrong, man. I'm rooting for you. I don't see it. So that's why adding a Gabe Davis, a guy that could be suddenly Lockett, a guy that can't carry. Okay, now Ridley's down again, God forbid. Okay, well, you got Lockett and you've got Gabe Davis and you got the best rookies so far that's emerged early out there. Okay, we can figure it out with that. That's kind of the.
So you are a yes on the question of should the Titans consider signing
unequivocally, absolutely, yes.
I think I'm also a yes. So I just answered the YouTube poll, and I want to know if you're shocked that this poll is at 50-50.
Wow. How many, like quite a few votes so far?
Over 112. 51% yes now.
I wonder if our argument is making a dent.
Should I screenshot it? It's 52% yes now. 51, 52, it's bouncing back and forth. I'm going to screenshot this thing to show that people understand what we're talking about here. Yeah. 51%, 52%, Gabe Davis, yes.
The person earlier that asked, why are we even talking about this? Well, because people have a split opinion here. And I'll say, again, to be clear, I don't know if this is how you feel, Austin, but how I feel, if a Gabe Davis signing requires more than 1 year commitment, I'm out. If a Gabe Davis signing requires more than $5 or $6 million, I'm out. That's why I want to kick the tires and see what his market is. Because if his market is 1 year, 5 or less, I'm in. Otherwise, I'm not trying to. I'm on Tinder, right? Like I'm not looking for a long-term relationship here at all. Yeah, I'm looking for a good time for the night, and that's it.
Yeah, Lucas says I voted no, but you guys flipped it. But you thinking about YouTube votes is it's once you vote, it's locked in. Now Andre says yes, Titans need Davis. No, you don't need him. No,
it's a little strong.
Need is strong. This is like let's go back
could use
elementary school, like need versus want. That's the lesson that we all learn at a young age, right? Some of us struggle with it at times.
Right now, the Titans need one of these rookies to emerge quickly. They need that at the moment.
They also want that to happen.
Right. The reason we want Gabe Davis is because it would keep them from so badly needing one of these receivers.
But do we even want to Gabe Davis? I don't even think it's that.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Is it a necessary evil kind of thing? Is it a fail safe?
It's just, it's like nobody, like you don't need Gabe Davis. Do you want Gabe Davis? I think you want the safety of Gabe Davis. You want the idea of the insurance policy. Now, you need insurance. I think that's where the insurance analogy gets thrown off here. You need insurance, even though you don't want it.
Austin
But
is
you don't.
vouching to
But you
just
don't need Gabe
raw
Davis.
dog life. Car auto insurance, just don't get in an accident. Health insurance, just stay healthy. You're fine.
Yeah.
Skill
So you
issue.
just take the wheel, right?
That's right. And to a point that kind of I was making with you yesterday, Austin. Like again, I think people see Van Jefferson. I mean, people say, "Well, Van Jefferson's that guy. He's the insurance." I don't think that he is, guys. I don't think that he's the insurance. I don't think that he is. I mean, if he's insurance, like it's the general. Like what policy is Van Jefferson? It's not the best policy in the world. Get a better policy than Van Jefferson because that policy is going to fail you. They're going to screw you when you come asking for money for your CAT scan. There's no chance they're paying it out. They're going to find a way. They're going to wriggle their way out of it.
Funny comment that adds nothing to the conversation. Anthony says, "You forgetting about Jaquan Jackson?"
Hey, where my Colton Dowell haters at? Lovers, supporters.
Yeah, no, we haven't forgot about Jaquan Jackson. We've discussed Jaquan Jackson as much as he should be in this conversation.
Another guy who needs a dramatic, just miraculous turnaround this year to make the roster.
Yeah. So let's look at the next conversation, the next level of this conversation. I'm going to end the YouTube poll as Gabe Davis has a 52 to 48% lead on they should be interested.
The people have spoken
in considering Gabe Davis. So Easton, you've worked through, when you see the memes of like, hey, which lunch table would you rather sit at? And it's got
which seat on this plane which guy would you sit next to?
Yeah, which dinner party do you want to go to? And it just lists like celebrities and athletes that you pick your flavor. So you kind of did this with wide receiver rooms.
Mm-hmm.
You have three different ways, three different directions the Titans could go with their wide receiver cuts and decisions. And I want you to walk us through these, and then we'll ask everybody, and I'll put up a new poll because that's how I do things.
Okay.
So room A, I think, the top two guys and the rookies are the same, right? So Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, DK, Io Manor, and Bryce Oliver, all five of those players are in all three rooms, right?
That's right.
So now you've got two spots you're playing with.
Mm-hmm.
Room A, has Gabe Davis, but no Van Jefferson.
Right. Essentially what it currently is, but swap Davis in and Jefferson out.
Yeah. Room C has Van Jefferson, but no Gabe Davis.
Room C is what it currently is right now.
Yes. And then in your seventh spot in room A and room C, you have Xavier Restrepo and James Prochet, who is like your special teamer kind of guy flyer. Mm-hmm. And then in room B, you've got neither Gabe Davis or Van Jefferson. You're truly going youth movement after Calvin Ridley and Tyler Lockett. You've got guys 3 through 6 in room B that have a combined 6 career receptions. All those are Bryce Oliver's.
Was it actually 6? Is that the number?
Yeah, I looked it up.
Okay. Good call.
So you got DK, Io Manor, Bryce Oliver, Restrepo, youth movement. Then James Prochet, who is technically going to be have a wide
how many career receptions does James Prochet have? That's the real question. I'm gonna look that up.
But and so you have Prochet on here like he's going to make the team, which is interesting too. So take us through
not a given, to be fair, not a given.
Yeah, which he's not on A or C, but take us through kind of your philosophy on the A, B, and C wide receiver rooms for the Titans directions.
Well, just kind of a quick aside on the Prochet of it all, just to get that out of the way. The reason why I have him included so much here, and a lot of folks may be like, who can, like, what, as Nick says, who the heck is Prochet? James Prochet is a special team specialist return guy that they signed, who is, he's technically a receiver, but he is known as specialist guy. And he has 28 career receptions, just by the way. So, there's that. 299 total yards, 0 touchdowns.
Over like 6 years.
Over 5 seasons, with Cleveland and Baltimore.
So this is your 6th.
Yep. So, and he has 1 start. So 48 targets, 28 receptions. That's his whole stat line. I gave it to you in the most jumbled order possible. And the reason why I have him included so much is because when they brought in Bones Fossil, the new special teams coordinator, that was kind of when they had a flurry of moves of like, oh, cut the kicker, sign a new kicker. Oh, cut the punter, sign a new punter. Prochet is
James
going to be
Prochet.
right. He was kind of the third of the three pack there, where I mean, Fossil, my understanding of him is he's kind of like you can kind of read the tea leaves on this. He's a my guys guy. Like, he wants his guys, and I think that Prochet was brought in as one of Fossil's guys. I don't know that. It just kind of the timeline fits. And so I wouldn't be surprised if and also we know that, we talk about this all the time. Teams getting tilted on what they did not have in the past, finding a way, some way, anyway, to get what they lacked so dearly last year. And what the Titans have lacked for more than a year now is reliable return ability. That's what Prochet offers, right? So they may just say, no matter what, this guy's on the roster because we can just set it and forget it and never worry about returner again. And we are so sick and tired of that. So that's why Prochet, I think, has regardless of what he does in the preseason or in training camp, like, I'm going to continue to assume he's a pretty good contender for that 6th to 7th spot until proven otherwise. So that aside, you want to say something?
No, I was just going to go ahead and ask the question. And
ask the question.
Yeah. So we want to go with, which room do you want to be in? Like, which wide receiver room do you want for the Titans? Is it A, B, or C? I'll throw them up on the screen again. A, B, or C. You've got A and C, where the main difference is just swapping Gabe Davis for Van Jefferson, which is the status quo. Mm-hmm. Room B in the middle there. I don't know why you went in the order that you did.
To be honest, the least effective order possible. It should have gone C, A, B. I think I went for symmetry here, clearly, but
you wanted the graphic to look aesthetically pleasing instead of the room A through C would make sense. So room C is current status quo. Room A would be adding Gabe Davis and moving on from Van Jefferson, who you just signed. Room B is screw both of them, and you're just going youth movement and James Prochet. So which wide receiver room do you want the Titans to go in their direction? So I think this is interesting because of what it means. Like, what does it mean to go no veteran after Tyler Lockett and just roll with youth with Cam Ward? What does it mean that you want to have a Gabe Davis or Van Jefferson? So we'll get to all those thoughts here in a second. But first, the Bone and Joint Institute is where you should turn for all of your injury needs. Injuries happen in life just like in football. We've been talking about this. Last summer, DeAndre Hopkins got hurt, was gone for a month. And that really showed the lack of depth of the Titans receivers. So injuries happen in life, and make sure that you know who you can turn to and who you can trust to get back off of the sidelines into the game of life and dealing with that injury the right way in Franklin, Tennessee, off I-65 and Highway 96, next door to Williams Medical Center. The Bone and Joint Institute has all of the resources, the people, the doctors, the experts behind them to make sure that you get the best care that you need. Book an appointment online, boneandjointtn.org.
Yeah, don't let your injury kill the depth of your family's roster. That's no good. Let the Bone and Joint Institute get you back there.
That to the tagline.
Right, write that down. Get you back out there on the field in a hurry. So much more to say here, but first, make sure you leave a 5-star Google review for us. It is very easy. You go to google.com, you search ATOZ Sports. You find our little business entity at the top. There says A to Z Sports business company, or sports reporter, the best sports company, I'm sure is what it says.
Yeah.
And then you hit that 5th star on the right. They light up gold, and there's a little text box. And we want you to give us your thoughts. Your feedback is a gift. We appreciate it earnestly. We read them all, clearly. We'll shout you out on the show if you just want a shameless plug for yourself. We'll do it. We're not above that for 5-star Google reviews. So leave us one. Say whatever you want to say. And help out the show, help out the A to Z brand. We appreciate you guys doing that.
All right. So which wide receiver room direction do you want this team to go to with Cam Ward? So room A and C, insert veteran in slot number 3, Gabe Davis or Van Jefferson. Room B, youth, DK, Io Manor, Bryce Oliver, Restrepo, and then James Prochet, the special teamer at the end. So Easton, what are you seeing from the chat on what I'll leave the graphic up there so we can just see the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
What are you seeing from the chat on what direction they want to go?
Yeah, as I scroll here, another quick footnote. I'm seeing some people being like quibbling with the order here. In my article, which is what these are pulled from, I said in the article, and I should have said here, this is a very loose order. This is not like the 1 through 7s. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. I mean, I've got them in some loose order. I'm not saying for sure Chimere DK is better than a Umanor or that Lockett's going to be playing over.
You kind of went in like draft order in a way. Like you went in like.
I went in the way that the Titans are probably going to list them on the first one they put out. You know, like it's like the respect depth chart.
It's level of investment.
Yes.
Is honestly what it is.
Because it's not a talent depth chart.
Yeah,
It's an
because
investment.
you have the two rookies at the top, and then
Yeah.
the third rookie, and then you have the draft picks in order they're drafted, and then you have the undrafted people after that. So it's literally not that. Yeah.
So all of
it
that to
makes
say, don't quibble with the order here. It's in no particular order for the most part. That being said, Corey says CCC, give him room C, which good news for Corey is what they have currently. So he wants to stick with what they got. Let's see, room A according to Andres, I'm not sure. Room B according to Ira Hoshi and Zach, they want to go with the youth movement. Adams is A with Restrepo, make it cut Prochet. I think that's going to be a very I'm already looking forward to Austin Prochet getting on the roster and somebody's favorite not being on the roster and people flipping their lid in late August. That's going to happen. Just mark my words. Bork saying A as well. Tall Texan says A, B, and C are not worth talking about. So he's all in on the Gabe Davis of it all.
Wait,
Which
is he saying A? Show it again.
I think
B,
he's
and C.
voting A and saying that B and C are not worth talking about because
this
if he's
is where comma placement is very important.
it is because if he's just saying A, B, and C aren't worth talking about, then he doesn't want to talk about receiver at all. Apparently, so
punctuation is important.
That's right. Let's eat, Grandma. David and Demario, you know that one. David and Demario say room A. Greg says room A. So A is very popular. I mean, I'm surprised, Austin. I thought that I was going to be fighting a losing battle this morning on the Gabe Davis conversation.
Yeah.
Seems to be that folks are interested in, and that is at least a possibility. Michael wants the youth movement. So you know what I'm not seeing? Well, I say that, and then John and Billy say C. So there's some C's in here. But room A is the clear winner in the chat. And room B is a second place, I believe.
Okay. And so what I find interesting is that room A is just something that now became an option because Gabe Davis is available.
That's right.
They had a lot of options available and decided to go with room C as the initial plan. So they saw something about Van Jefferson that made them say this veteran signing is a good risk analysis, right? It's like, okay, it's not much money. The upside could be interesting. The skill set fits maybe what they're looking for, but it's also not a player that they're going to be bummed if a rookie beats out Van Jefferson, right?
And they signed him on March 12th.
Early.
So I think
that's
the
like
timing,
day 2.
Yeah, I think the timing of this is very important. It felt like let's look at the receivers in free agency. What are our options? At the time we were saying the same thing. Kind of gross. We probably should add somebody, and we as a team we're currently planning on addressing this in the draft, but we can't say for sure 2 months out what we're going to do. So we should get somebody that's affordable. Okay, Van Jefferson. Maybe that's cope on my part. But that's kind of what I think they did.
Yeah, then they looked at the market like we don't want to pay that much for other guys, and NWI was lost.
Right.
The Titans wanted NWI. I'm sure you guys talked about this at the time. The Titans wanted NWI back. NWI play a little game and get more money in Miami, which was not that much money.
No, it wasn't. But I mean, get your bag.
So, do they view Gabe Davis as like how much better than Van Jefferson?
I mean,
like what's the difference in the two?
I think
in their eyes.
I can't say what they think, but if what I think is that Van Jefferson is at best your 4. You probably want him to be your 5. You don't want him on the field. And I think Gabe Davis is a guy that you would be like, I kind of do want him as my 3rd on the field. Like I do kind of want Gabe Davis out there because he's a guy that you have to respect downfield. You have to respect in the second and third of the field. Like
you got to cover.
Yeah, he's somebody that demands something of the defense, and can produce and can score in the red zone. Is he awesome? No. But is he a low end NFL starter? Yes, I think that he is. And I'm pretty positive Van Jefferson is not.
So here's my answer. I want to go with C, and I'm going to select room C.
Really?
Which is the least popular option of these wide receiver rooms.
But it's also clearly the most likely, I would say, just to put that
Yeah,
out
because
there.
that's what they decided to do. That was the game plan,
Correct.
right?
Nothing has to change for Room C to happen.
Because I think it's this year is all about balance, right?
Mhm.
It's how do you balance giving Cam Ward enough veteran experience around him with youth that he can grow with.
Mhm.
And I think Room C is the right balance there. Van Jefferson is a pro. He knows where to be. He knows how to be reliable.
Mhm.
He's not going to mess up and run the wrong assignment and put your quarterback in a bad spot to a pick,
Sure.
right? You can trust that Van Jefferson is going to show up every day and do his job.
Mhm.
I don't know Gabe Davis, but he probably fits the same thing. But Van Jefferson's ceiling leaves an opportunity for one of your younger players to earn more opportunity in a bigger role. So I think that's where you have a high enough floor with youth opportunity to grow faster to where I think Gabe Davis, I think Room A stunts a little bit of the opportunity for DK, Io Manor, Bryce Oliver, or Strepo.
It absolutely does. I don't think that's an
And
opinion. I
Room
think it does.
C does not stunt those guys.
Hopefully not.
And I think
From
it
your mouth to
shouldn't.
God's ears, man.
Yeah,
Because if
it
that's a thing,
should.
it's gonna piss me off.
Room C, my decision, should not stunt DK, Iron Man, or Oliver Restrepo. Room B, I think, exposes early those guys. DK, Iron Man, or Oliver Restrepo. So I think it's a little bit of a protection of not too much pressure on your young players because Van Jefferson's there, but
Mhm.
allows them to get comfortable and have opportunity to grow throughout the season. So that's why I pick Room C.
So the fundamental question the Titans have to answer here and have been asking themselves throughout this process and have to, when they're faced with, because Gabe Davis won't be the first guy that they're faced with should we or shouldn't we add him? Titans
Yeah.
are still number one in the waiver order. It's still a league where guys are going to become available over the summer. Guys are going to get cut in August. Like there's going to be chances for them to add, maybe not as good as Gabe Davis, maybe the best guy newly available at this point, but you never know. Never say never. And the question they're going to have to answer for themselves is, what do you value more? Setting up Cam Ward to be as comfortable and insulated as possible, setting him up for maximum success, or setting up your receiver room, which is very important for the future of this team and important for the future of Cam Ward as your franchise guy, setting them up for maximum success to grow and develop as best they possibly can this year. Because you can't, it's threading the needle to want both things, I think. And I'm not saying it's impossible to do, but in order to do it, it takes Cam Ward being that dude early. And it takes at least one or two of these rookies being at least serviceable early.
Mhm.
So like there's some gambling going on there. And so I think if you can throw the rooms back up on the board here, Austin, we've said Room C clearly is what currently is. It is what's most likely to happen.
Mhm.
It is definitely the balance of Room A and Room B, right? It is the middle ground.
Which I think is why I just actually thought how Room A, B, and C, the order makes sense. Veterans, Room A, youth opportunity, Room B, and the balance of those two, Room C.
Thank you for finding a way to justify my terrible graphic design.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Room A is what I think sets the Titans up best to support Cam Ward and again to bring it back around to, I think the Ridley thing is going to continue to be a thing. Safeguard against not having to lean so heavily on the soon to be 31-year-old receiver who's clearly your best option. And then Room B is what I think would easily be best for the future of the Titans wide receiver room. And I get what you're saying about exposing them, but there's four of them, man. Like it's not like there's one perfect baby boy that we're trying to protect.
Sure. Yeah.
I think this is it's scattershot. It's like let's load the shotgun and fire it and see see if one of these bullets can hit the mark. Because between DK, Iamaner, Oliver, Restrepo, throw him out there. See how the pecking order lands. See who sinks and who swims. I don't think throwing them all out there as a group, kind of they're like a school of fish. They'll be safer together. They won't be exposed by themselves.
It's like the 100 guys versus the gorilla, right?
Right, right. It's not one guy versus a gorilla. It's like,
so if you have 100 Titans low-level receivers, could they kill a gorilla?
Right. Probably not. But could they turn into decent NFL receivers? Maybe. And that's what I'm wanting to find out here. And so I think that's the fundamental question here, right? Is, again, what do they want this receiver room to be? And what do they value between developing receiver and setting Cam Ward up to be successful and comfortable? And so to answer the question, I mean, Austin, in my perfect world, and my answer is not going to be C like you, but obviously I admit that I think C is what's going to happen. And I would pick C if I was in charge, because in my ideal world, it's C, and then Van Jefferson is just like literally kept on the very, very back burner until like emergency, only emergency use. The reason I'm not going to pick C is because maybe it's cynical of me, maybe it's jaded. I don't trust them to do that. I think that he's going to take opportunities early. I think there's a decent chance he takes opportunities late, and it pisses me off. And not Van's fault at all. I'm talking about the coaching staff. Mm-hmm. I don't know what their plan is, but I worry with him around that he's going to take opportunities from the young guys.
You think Van Jefferson is able to stunt the growth of the young guys like I view Gabe Davis is?
Not in the same way. So I was about to get to that. Not in the same way, because again, I don't know, like with Gabe Davis, if they had him on the roster, I know that he would, because he should, frankly, be above these young guys in the pecking order until one of them proves something like that. He's not going to sign up to go be on a team to be an emergency guy. Like he's better than that. So I know that he would not stunt maybe, but definitely like delay and raise the bar for those guys breaking through, make it harder for them to break through that glass.
Delaying is stunting.
Well, not necessarily, because stunting is not just delaying, but it's also fundamentally harming. If you stunt the growth of something, it never reaches its potential. You can delay something and it still reaches potential just late. It's a little etymology for you there. Yeah. Don't try to out nerd the nerd.
I think it's kind of, and we're kind of saying the same thing. We're talking about,
I'm being a total jerk about it. No, we are. Yeah. But with Van, I don't think it would be to the extent that Gabe would. Agreed. In terms of the delaying or the stunting.
Yeah.
But I do fear it'd be some. And again, in my mind, the difference between those two players is so wide to me that it's going to really tick me off if Van Jefferson is doing that. Again, not Van's fault. He's just doing what he's told. If the coaching staff is having Van do that. And so I'm going to pick A, because I think what is most important, no matter what, to this team, it's Cam Ward, and it's Cam Ward's comfortability. And I am eyes wide open on the fact that I said it in the article, we've said it this morning, adding Gabe Davis or somebody of Gabe Davis's caliber creates new problems for the Titans that they don't currently have. Like it makes the room more complicated. If you add Davis, they're probably not going to just outright cut Jefferson. So they're both there. Things are more crowded. And the opportunities that you give to certain guys becomes more complicated. I get that. But I do think that the safeguarding that he would do, the insurance that he would provide for a receiver room, that every night I lay my bed on my pillow, Austin, I think about how this team is like, the receiver room to me is teetering on the edge of a cliff on Ridley Ridge. And if they go tumbling over into the Ridley River, they're screwed. I think that somebody like Gabe Davis could, prevent that being the catastrophe that I'm afraid it may be.
Yeah, I think you and I both think Io Manor has legit potential. I think the majority of fans for the Titans think that Restrepo is going to come in here and just be a beast.
Yeah, we'll see about that one.
Yeah, we'll see.
Justin gets it. Alec is our better Gabe. Justin, I'm with you. And when I bring myself back to reality world and get out of La La Land, I know that they're probably not, almost certainly not going to sign Gabe Davis. And so this is what we're hoping for right here, is that Alec becomes that guy, and where it's happy, smooth sailing.
Yeah, they're not going to just gonna predict they're not signing Gabe Davis.
No,
they don't have to. I don't think they would sign anybody else a receiver unless or until there is a significant injury.
which
There's so many bodies.
yeah.
That they have. Now you could question whether they're, it's like, oh, they got a bunch of guys out there. Well, like you can question the good level of them.
Yeah, I mean,
Mason Kinsey's out there still too.
You got a couple fourth rounders. You got a UDFA who everybody thinks is like awesome, but he's still a UDFA, so nothing's promised for him. You've got Traylon Burks, who we've talked about. You've got Prochet, who's literally only around because we think he's one of their guys.
And I don't think Prochet is the guarantee to make it either. Like I don't
think he's a guarantee, but I think he's way more likely than any other guy would be in his situation. I guess is what I should say.
Sure, I think there are two players that have a chance to get James Prochet to be unnecessary here. I think
who?
DK has returnability.
Agreed.
And Bryce Oliver grew a ton as a gunner last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you like both of those two players' receiver ability and future potential, and they could fill the James Prochet gap instantly.
And that makes total sense to you. It makes total sense to me. I'm guessing it makes total sense to the chat. It may just not matter if Bones Fossil is a stubborn my guy.
And you know what? DK and Bryce Oliver are 2 of 48 on game day, where Prochet is just 1. So
that's right.
Numbers matter when it comes to that for game day roster activation. So the math comes into play here.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have all
and
3 of those guys,
they have to trust these guys.
Yeah, if you have all 3 of those guys, and you can rotate which ones you want up and down on game day. Maybe it's Prochet early before you trust DK to catch a punt, because we all know that's a problem. Has been a problem for these guys. All right. Any other? Oh, one thing I wanted to say here. I favored a couple comments. Darren and Jay, let them get exposed, because that's
about
what I
the
said.
Young receivers.
Yeah, Room B exposes the young guys early. And they're like, screw it, let them be exposed. Okay, fine, whatever. But my point is, what does that do to your quarterback?
Right.
If you expose young receivers before they're ready, then your quarterback is the one who gets punished most of the time.
That's right.
So no, don't just do that. I get what you're saying. Throw those guys in the deep end for their own sake, but you're also putting those heavy weights around his ankles in the deep end too.
If we were covering the Buccaneers or the Rams or some team with a quarterback who we're not worried about, totally agree. Throw them out there. But we're not doing that.
No. Yeah, the number 1 overall pick that you have to hit on.
The perfect baby boy who you must protect at all costs.
Yes, because he is your ticket. If he fails, you're fired. All of you.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's just the reality. If Cam Ward fails, everybody is fired. Maybe not Chad Brinker, but probably.
History tells us not great odds.
Right.
You want to do some trivia?
Well, we got something else first. I got a little treat.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah,
I got a little treat for the people here.
You're proud of this one.
Yes, I am proud of this. We're going to get to this here in a moment, but do want to tell everybody about our great friends at Lipscomb University. They have their brand new sports analytics program where you can make a career out of sports analytics, where data meets the game. You can analyze, strategize, and revolutionize and turn your passion of sports into profession. That can be a game-changing insight for your career-defining skills. So go to Lipscomb University and look up their sports analytics program. People ask us, I'm sure you get this all the time, Easton, how did you get into this? Mm-hmm. Well, I got a journalism degree. Well, you don't have to have a broadcast journalism degree to do this anymore. You don't have to have a college degree to do this anymore. But one path you could take, because there's no right path to this, is go looking at sports analytics, because knowing about the data is an avenue you can take, a niche that you can take to build this into a career for your passion, because we're all watching this show because you're passionate about the Titans and you're passionate about sports, and Lipscomb University has that for you now. It's all online, so you don't have to be in Nashville, where Lipscomb's located, to take this course. Lipscomb University Sports Analytics. Check that out right there at Lipscomb University.
So much more to say. I mean, not really, but Austin has so much more to show you. And then we have so much more trivia to do. But not until you like the show. Last chance here. Like the show. Hit that thumbs up button. We can see your like numbers. Frankly, I'm not pleased. We need a little more juice in the like category. Appreciate you guys liking the show for us this morning. And then leave a 5-star Google review. Very easy, very helpful to us. Thank you very much.
That's right. So a lot of things happened throughout the draft process, the reaction. We spent so much time talking through the Titans draft class, the undrafted free agents, the good and the bad of the draft class, that we failed to really discuss how weird Jags GM James Gladstone was talking about Travis Hunter. And his intro speech to Travis Hunter at the press conference was like the definition of trying way too hard. Yeah. And it hit me as I heard Buck and Lucas Panzica talking about this on the Zone the other day. I feel like I recognized the cadence and the overall tone of trying to overcompensate in a very important speech where a lot is on the line. Mm-hmm. So I present to you the puppy who lost his way.
Travis Hunter is a Jacksonville Jaguar, and really what comes to mind for me, right? Thinking about the sport of football.
The puppy who lost his way.
Its capacity to ignite belief, right? Belief in ourselves, belief in others, right? Belief in achieving what many may deem impossible.
The world was changing, and the puppy was getting bigger.
Travis Hunter, he embodies belief. Right? He's a rare person, he's a rare player, but he's also a reminder that the boundaries of the game of football were built to be challenged.
So you see, the puppy was like industry in that they were both lost in the woods. And nobody, especially the little boy, society, knew where to find them.
And we want him to be nothing more than him. Because when he is, he elevates the space around him. From the football field to the city to the game of football itself, Travis Hunter is who we've been hunting up.
Except that the puppy was a dog. But the industry, my friends, that was a revolution.
Couldn't be more jacked to be sitting right here beside him and introduce you all to the man of the hour.
Nib High football rules!
Oh, God.
It's really good. It's really good. Would you...
Duval.
You got those two jokers running the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is the craziest thing.
I love it. I think they're going to be good too, which is the crazy thing. Would you believe it if I told you I've never seen Billy Madison?
No, I knew that because it was made before you were born, and I think that's crazy.
How dare you? I've seen plenty of movies that have been made before I was born.
Yeah, but not that. Right.
Billy
Billy Madison.
To be clear, I'm familiar with that scene. I had seen that scene before. I've just not seen the whole movie.
Because it's also what prefaces the "I award you no points and may God have mercy on your soul" reaction. Right. Because it's nonsense, which what James Gladstone said about Travis Hunter is absolute nonsense. Yeah. It made we want him to be him because when he is him, he elevates the space around him. What? Dude, how many gummies did you eat before that? Like, what in the world? And he thought he was the Jay-Z grooving. Like he thought he had, and the amount of media members that were like, oh, that was bars. I hate that. I hate when people are like, oh, spit bars. No, that was weird, dude. That was way too much, trying too hard. Butch Jones thought that was cringy. And that says a lot.
It wasn't great. It wasn't great. And I'd imagine, I mean, it is going to be one of those things that is made fun of by a lot of people for a long time. Never going to, I mean, even if it ends up being a great decision that they made on the football field, that's still going to be poked fun at for good reasons.
And then he Travis Hunter, the guy that we've been hunting. I'm like, oh, good dude, get out of here with this.
You know when he wrote that down in his bedroom the night before, he was like, oh, this is a bar. His pen's on fire, flaming quill.
And you can totally tell the difference. The people that like that, 85% of them are Jags fans. The other 50% of the people that like that are like national media that want the Jags to know that they are on board with what they're doing.
People who just say that they
Pandering.
like anything. They don't think for themselves. They just, oh, that fun. Okay, yeah, we like these. We like this. Okay, we like this.
All right, Easton. I'm going to name 90s Adam Sandler movies to see if you've seen them. So you have not seen Billy Madison, which is
Don't do this to me.
tragic.
Don't do this to me.
Have you seen Happy Gilmore?
Not the whole thing.
Not the whole thing.
Like I've probably seen the whole
You've
thing.
just
Like
seen clips.
no. Like I've seen it on TV. I don't think I've sat from start to finish. I've probably seen the whole movie in spurts. I could tell you the whole plot of it. Let's put it that way. But I've not sat and watched it start to finish.
Okay. Have you seen Big Daddy?
Don't even know. I couldn't tell you what it's about. No idea.
Have you seen Mr. Deeds? I think we're getting closer to the 2000s, but have you seen Mr. Deeds?
Never even heard of Mr. Deeds. There's at least one of these that I've seen. I'm waiting for you to name it. I don't know if it's early 90s or late 90s or early 2000s.
I mean, if you're waiting for me to say Grown Ups, I'm not going to.
No. I mean, I've seen that, but no. I'm not trying to.
I'm talking like peak.
I've seen Click. Is that peak?
Click? No, that's
too late still.
No, I'm talking like when Adam Sandler was in his 20s. When Adam Sandler was your age, he was making just hits. Waterboy. Have you seen Waterboy?
No, I have not. The Longest Yard, is that one?
Longest Yard was in the
later?
2000s. That was when Adam Sandler started becoming mainstream. I don't understand. Have you seen The Wedding Singer? That one's an older.
I know of
Sandler.
it, but I have not. No, that one's 98. It's actually not as old as you think.
Wedding Singer was 98.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Maybe.
Let's see. Anger Management from 03. No.
Well, okay, what's the one that you were waiting for me to name that you have seen?
It was Click, which was 06. It was later than I thought it was.
06? Give me a freaking break.
Little Nicky from 2000.
Nicky? Yep.
The Hot Chick. I don't even think he led that one.
Who else? 51st Dates. That's a good movie. 51st Dates is legit. And that's definitely like an older Sandler.
Is he in that? Oh, he is in that. Yeah, 04.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know. Spanglish?
No. See now we're getting to a different era Sandler. The era Sandler that I'm talking about.
Spanglish is 04.
No, I'm talking about like mid to late 90s Sandler. Like when he's doing Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore,
well, I mean,
Big
so like
Daddy, Mr. Deeds, Little Nicky, all of those are like in this Waterboy. All of those are like the same genre.
Okay, so like starting in 95, he did Billy Madison, and then in 96 had more.
The animated one, 8 Crazy Nights, is one of the wilder ones.
8 Crazy Nights.
It's about Hanukkah. It's a Hanukkah movie.
Oh yeah, from 02. Okay, yeah. So like starting in 95, he did Billy Madison, then Happy Gilmore, Wedding Singer, Waterboy, Big Daddy, Little Nicky, Joe Dirt.
Stop. From Waterboy.
Doesn't get in there.
What was the last one?
Mr. Deeds, 8 Crazy Nights.
What year was Mr. Deeds?
Mr. Deeds and 8 Crazy Nights were 02.
Okay, that's kind of like the
so 95 to 02.
95 to 02 is like Adam Sandler being like idiot funny, but hits all of them.
Okay.
And then after that, you start to kind of get a little bit like
in that period. I have not. I mean, I've seen Happy Gilmore kind of, and that's about it.
Nuts, man. Oh man, Justin Austin, I've gained more respect for you. That's what I grew up on, man. Ooh, Rat Race is also underrated, yes, but not really Sandler. It's not Adam Sandler at all. But no, I think like, come on now, like,
well,
Billy Madison is so quotable. You will probably go watch Billy Madison, and you're like, oh, I've heard so many people like,
I'm sure,
drop lines from this.
I'm sure. Happy Gilmore 2 coming out this year, which is sure to be terrible, is 29 years after the original. I didn't know. In my head, it was not that far apart. They're pandering
to me because they're going to try to make me get my ass in a movie theater for the first time in a long time.
I was in a movie theater last night. I mean, it's going to be terrible. Like, there's going to be Travis Kelce in there, and like, it's going to be bad. Not to single out Travis Kelce. He is one of a handful of lists of like weird celebrity cameos that I read were in this that are. I mean, Edward says, Easton, stop writing articles and watch movies. I would do that if they paid me to do that, but that's not what they pay me to
he
do.
He needs to write more articles.
So,
man, I can't believe.
Okay, well, you can't make fun of me then. I'm too busy. I'm too busy working to watch your silly movies.
I can believe that you haven't seen Billy Madison. But
JR says, have I seen Tommy Boy? Yes, I've seen Tommy Boy many times. That one I have seen multiple.
Okay, well, that now we know that in future trivias you have a hole in your game. Prime Sandler is a hole in your game.
No doubt it's a hole in my game. I mean, let's be honest. 90s movies are probably just generally a hole in my game.
All right, let's get the trivia. Shout out Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. See them in Lebanon or online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Go see Painbone because he'll help you out with a new ride. All right, Easton, we have redemption on the line here. So are you ready for trivia?
Hit it.
Okay. Ryan and I flat out sucked yesterday. We were like 9 minutes on this.
I heard it was like the worst of all time.
It was brutal. No, it was tough grid, and the celebrity mashup was not easy. Chat also stumped too. So, all right, let's start with the NFL. Go counterclockwise around the board and finish in the middle with celebrity mashup. Here we go.
All right, chat, we need you. Lock in. NFL. Herman Moore totaled over 9,000 receiving yards for this NFC team from 91 to 01. Don't know, to be honest with you.
Herman Moore.
I know the player, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm struggling with the
Lions.
Cool. Yeah,
Lions. Thanks, chat. Former U.S. Speaker of the House took an early delegate lead in 2012 Republican primaries when he won South Carolina.
Yeah.
Paul Ryan? Did he run in 2012? No. He ran as a VP in 2012. Former Speaker of the House. This is like right before I started paying decent attention to politics. I was 12 years old. Was it Newt Gingrich? Okay. Newt. What up, Newt? Seth Rogen and Jason Mantzoukas played recruiting characters Dirty Randy and Rafi on this FX comedy that ran from 2009 to 2015. Recruiting. I'm dumb. Recurring characters. Excuse me. FX. I don't frequent FX. No, so once again, somebody help me out.
Yeah. Not me.
Chat is carrying hard this morning. The league. Sure.
Oh. Fantasy football show.
Yeah, I mean, I know the show.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. Based on Japanese manga, James Cameron wrote this screenplay for this 2019 cyberpunk action film that starred Rosa Salazar, Jennifer Connelly, and Christoph Waltz. Oh, I know that. It's a one-word name. It's the name of a girl. She's got really big eyes in it. It's like CG big eyes.
Juno.
No. Somebody in the chat would know what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
I heard it was a very bad movie. I did not see it.
Lolita?
Is that right?
Lucy?
I think it's Lucy.
Lolita.
That's on me. Well, it was Alita. It was Alita. It's Alita Battle Angel. It's totally right. Dadgummit. What band composed the theme song for this TV show, The Big Bang Theory?
Oof, don't know.
The band? We should know who the band is.
I don't know.
I mean, I know the song.
I don't even know.
Goofy song.
I don't know.
Is this gonna like blow my mind that all this time I didn't know it was like
maybe
a
Bare Naked Ladies?
Is it Bare Naked Ladies? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Now I know one Bare Naked Ladies song. This brand of gourmet chocolate's logo, often in an oval, features a gold dragon and its name in gold print. Gourmet chocolate.
Dragon? A chocolate dragon? What?
Gourmet chocolate. Chat is carrying so hard. Who's the gourmet chocolate fan amongst us?
Is
it Ghirardelli?
Ghirardelli? I guess Ghirardelli. Yeah. I mean, Megan?
I don't think Lint sounds
a dragon.
I know, but Lint is at least an oval.
Lindor? No, they don't have dragons. What? Lindor?
People are just okay. What? Well, Lindor wasn't even an option. Yeah, it's not even on there.
I don't.
Rocher.
Lint.
Ferrero Rocher,
Ghirardelli. I don't know.
Dove.
It's
Dove.
not
No,
Dove.
it's not
No,
gourmet
it's different.
chocolate Dove. Ferrero Rocher sounds like not a bad answer. Actually.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Okay, well, this player crushed 45 home runs in only 119 games in 2017 while splitting time with the Tigers and D-backs. Bro, I don't know. Who's the baseball head? Help us out.
Who turned up the difficulty on this?
Yeah, for real. We still got plenty of time to beat.
Yeah, but
freaking
we're
9.
already missed 2, so we're done.
Yeah. But now it's just for pride. Let's call Sam. We might could get a faster answer by calling Sam than the chat. Somebody has to watch baseball in the chat. 45 homers. That should be notable to somebody that watches baseball. Splitting
I mean,
time.
I can't even throw a name out there to make
People
it
giving us-
close.
Folks, we got the chocolates. Got it. Ken Griffey,
No.
Fielder.
Prince Fielder Jr. JD Martinez. Prince Fielder Jr. I don't know.
Let's listen more. Let's some more roll in here. I mean, I don't know what to tell y'all, folks. This is brutal.
JD Martinez.
It's cool. Let's try that. Nice.
Oh,
Before he became a head coach, Tom Thibodeau was the head assistant for this Eastern Conference team from 2007 to 2010.
Pacers. I don't know. I don't pay attention to NBA assistant coaches.
Yeah, like I could tell you who he's the
Like
coach
the
of.
most unknown assistant coaches. NBA assistant.
The NBA, NHL, they go through coaches like
People say- People are saying Boston.
All right, cool. That sounds right. Always Boston. Okay. All right. Well, that is clearly Andrew Garfield on the outside.
Okay.
Very distinct. And then on the inside, who is that woman? I don't recognize her. Chat, who's this lady?
Mandy Moore. That's what Joshua says.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I thought the chat's further behind than they normally are.
I know, right? I think the delay. Okay, let's try
People are
Mandy
saying
Moore.
Mandy Moore.
Screw it. Let's give it a try. All right, this is definitely.
Well, we got
Alita.
that right.
Yeah, let's go. Nice job. It's definitely Alita Battle Angel. Yeah. Okay.
What
So
was that-
6.
what was that stupid chocolate?
It was Lint. We should have gone with the most popular answer from the chat. It was Lint. Dadgummit. I mean, some of these are tough. Like Herman Moore, Newt Gingrich
I
questions.
mean, there wasn't a
we
layup.
should have gotten the league. That's on us.
I never watched the league though.
Alita Battle Angel was a crappy, bad movie that no one saw. A bare naked ladies question, like brother.
No, Big Bang Theory question, which is even crazier.
Probably should have known the Tom Thibodeau one. JD Martinez, that's a name that I at least recognize. So not great. I mean, better than yesterday, frankly. You set the bar so low.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same result, right? We still missed one question, but we were 3 minutes faster. So
we should have. That's on me. I should have gone with Lint. People were saying Lint the most commonly. What is the?
I
can't
the
even
dragon
picture it.
thing threw me off. Like if it would
can't
just if it
picture
had
the
been
logo.
gold,
Oh, it's the tiny little thing at the end. That's the dragon.
yeah, screw that.
I've never even looked closely enough to realize what that is. I thought it was just like a flowery embellish.
Yeah, I thought it was like a flower cross or something. Yeah.
All right, whatever, bro.
Oh, and Lint and Lindor are the same thing. That's news to me.
They are.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Oh, it's Lint Lindor chocolates. That's why Lindor was not an option. Who knew?
Mhm.
So everyone that was saying Lindor was also correct, technically.
All right. That's it. Make sure you like the show. Like the show. We'll see you guys tomorrow on a Friday as we get ready for Titans rookie minicamp on a Friday on what to watch for Cam Ward in person and other rookies, maybe including Xavier Restrepo, that could shine in rookie minicamp. We'll catch you guys later on. Appreciate it as always.